So we are in 211 shloka number, where Atma is other than five koshas we were discussing. So the shloka was Yoyam Atma Swayam Jyotihi Panchakosha Vilakshanaha Avasthatraya Sakshi Sannirvikaro Niranjanaha Sadananda Savigneyaha Swatmatvena Vipaschita. And there we discussed about the Kathopanishad mantra, na tatra surya bhati na chandra tarakam nema vidyuto bhati kuto yamagnihi tameva bhantam bhati sarvam tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. And there we discussed also someone, the great Prophet Muhammad was asked, where is Allah or where is God? Is he far away? And he replied, he is nearer to you than the vein in your neck. So mystical experience turns the ultimate reality into the intimate reality. Mystical experience turns the ultimate reality into the intimate reality. This is the outcome of our experience of oneness with that supreme reality. Now, how is this reality? It is self-effulgent. Swayam Jyotihi. Though not a perfect illustration, we can take sun as an example to understand this point. We do not need a torch to see the sun, because the sun is self-effulgent. It overpowers all other sources of corporeal light. Similarly, our self is effulgent by nature. No other source of light can illuminate it. On the contrary, it is the self, where S is capital, that illumines everything else in the world, including the sun we had taken to illustrate the point. Self is the light of all lights. Jyotisam Jyoti. In the self, the sun doesn't shine, nor the moon, nor the stars. When the self shines, everything shines after it. By its light, this universe is lighted. This is the essence of that famous mantra, that Upanishad. Na tatra surya bhati na chandra tarakam nema vidyuto bhanti kuto yama tam eva bhantam anubhati sarvam tasya bhasa sarvam idam vibhati. With the light of God as pure consciousness, the whole universe is lighted. Therefore, it is described as the light of all lights. In Islamic Sufi mysticism, the word for this infinite light is called Noor. In many of your, Hindi song or ghazal, you get this word, Noor, which is a recurring theme in their literature. In St. John's Gospel 1.9 describes this light as the true light which lighten every man that come into the world. And he continues saying that, but the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. That is our experience. This great light is hidden in darkness, due to which we fail to comprehend it. Therefore, in his poem, Paracelsus बोल के कुछ poem है, the English poet Robert Browning describes this light as the imprisoned splendor. Imprisoned splendor. It is a wonderful expression. Our self is effulgent by nature. It is a splendor, but somehow it is imprisoned. What is photon? It is a light quantum, an energy packet of electromagnetic radiation. So the photon is also same. It is a splendor imprisoned in a piece of matter. When we release it from its cross covering, we see its dazzle. Physics describes energy into two forms: bottled up energy and released energy. Matter is bottled up energy. When we break matter, we get released energy. Similarly, we are all bottled up self. When we penetrate into ourselves through the process of philosophical reasoning, vichara, the imprisoned splendor means our self, our S capital, our self is released. This verse therefore says that the self is distinct from the five sheaths, Panchakosha Vilakshana. It needs to be released from their clutch through the process of sharp discrimination and realization. आध्यात्मिकता की जगत अनुभूति की जगत है, अनुभव की जगत है, प्रदर्शन की नहीं. The life of spirituality is the life of realization, a real I-zation, not the matter of exhibition. The self is the witness of three states, avastha traya sakshi. Our waking ego cannot witness dream or sleep because it is absent there. Again, I'm telling you, our waking ego cannot witness dream or sleep because it is absent there. So also our dream ego, not sakshi, ego. Our dream ego cannot witness waking or sleep. Being absent in those states. And the sleep ego also cannot witness waking or dream because it is not present in those states. These egos do not witness each other and their activities. Not being present together at the same time in the same state. Clear? And there cannot be knowledge or remembrance of a thing without witnessing it. But in our experience, we find we know all that transpires in all the three states. So there must be one who witnesses all the three and therefore knows and remembers all that happens in all the three states. And that is the witnessing self. So, if we can remember, or no need to remember, I will tell you that verse number 125, there it was told, Asti kaschit swayam nityam aham pratyalambanaha avasthatraya sakshi san panchakosha vilakshana. Panchakosha vilakshana. It is different from five shades. Avasthatraya sakshi san. Being the witness of these three states, Jagrat, Swapna, Susupti, Nityam, always, Aham Pratyalambana, the abode of Aham Pratyaya. Kaschit means someone else whose name and form are not known. Swayam Asti. Atma Swayam Asti. ये पंचकोश से पृथक है. जागृत, स्वप्न, सुषुप्ति, ये तीन अवस्था की दृष्टा है. मरण तक, टिल डेथ, हर जीव जो मैं करते हैं, उस सारे मैं की जो साक्षी है, जो जो जड़ वस्तु है उनसे अलग, और क्या बोल रहा है, ये चैतन्य स्वरूप परमात्मा है एंड है. अहंगयन, जो मैं की जो ज्ञान, अहम की जो ज्ञान, ये सिर्फ चेतन का ही होना संभव है. जड़ वस्तु का ये अनुभव असंभव. स्वप्न जब हम लोग देखते हैं उस समय कोई भी जड़ वस्तु नहीं रहे. बाहर का जड़ वस्तु कहाँ है, लेकिन उस समय भी मैं, ये ज्ञान वर्तमान रहते हैं. अन्नमय कोश जीव की स्थूल शरीर, प्राणमय, मनोमय, विज्ञानमय सूक्ष्म शरीर, और आनंदमय कोश सबकी कारण शरीर, आत्मा, ये सबसे अलग है. आत्मा is different than everything else. The self is unchanging, nirvikar. Vikar means parivartan in Sanskrit. An important maxim in philosophy is that any perception of change implies an unchanging persevere. Again, I'm telling any perception of change implies an unchanging perception. Herein comes the wonderful concept of witness, Sakshi. We have already discussed how the self is the unchanging witness of the changing egos of the three states of reality. It is like the sun, which is called the witness of the day, Dina Sakshi, or the witness of the solar system, Loka Sakshi. So everything going on in the solar system is perceived by the sun. So its radiation penetrates every nook and corner of the solar system. Even the darkest caves, in the form of infrared and ultraviolet radiations, isn't it? Maybe light is not there. Similarly, the Atma, our self, is the witness of everything, including the sun. It is also the witness of the transmigrating soul. As stated earlier, it is the upper bird witnessing majestically the deeds of the lower one. That is our true nature. If we can remember the shloka number 203, we can just remember that tadatma, tad atma anatmanoho samyak vivekena eva siddhyati tato vivekaha kartavyah pratyag atma sadatman. ये आत्मा क्या है, ये अनात्मा भी क्या है, ये विचार अगर कोई ठीक ठीक रूप से कर पाते हैं तो आत्मज्ञान की उत्पन्न होती. So it is required to do vichara about the swarupa and swarupa of Jiva and Brahman. And that is our true nature. It is ever pure, Niranjana. Nothing can taint it. And finally, it is eternally blissful, Sadhananda. This Atma has to be realized not as an object, something different from us. We have to realize it as our own self. Vigneya Swatmatve. God is not an object among objects. It is our self, like Narayan. Nar means water. So whose abode is water, Ayanam, whose abode or Ayanam is Nar, water. He is Narayan. What is another name of water? It is Jivana, life. Without water, we can't live. Without Narayana, can't live. Or Narayan is our living principle. Clear? So, God is not an object amongst objects. It is our self, the eternal subject, which is the self of all. This is the conclusion of the investigation done by brilliant minds like that of Bhagavan Shankaracharya, Bhagavan Buddha, all. Following their footsteps, we also can attain the same realization which frees us from our bondage and suffering. There will be physical pain, physical bondage. There will be headache, BP, diabetes, joint pain, so many things. So what? For a realized soul, for a realized one, this is absolutely the bodily or mental matter. He is Sadananda, not a bit of dukkha, either social or political or physical or mental or intellectual, can touch that Anand. He is Sadhananda. Now, the disciple poses another question. Earlier, we had studied a very intelligent question from disciple. If we see 192 and 193, there we will see that how a disciple has put very nice question and intellectual question to the Guru. 192 and 193. Brahmena Brahmenapi anyatha शिष्य उवाच परमात्मनः जीवभावः भ्रमेण वा अन्यथा अपि अस्तु तत् उपाधेः अनादित्वात् अनादेः नाशः न इष्यते. And atosya jiva bhavopi nitya bhavati samsmitihi na nivarteta tan mokshaha katham me Sri Guru vada. उपाधि अनादि देहाभिमान आत्मा की जो जीव भाव, ये तो निवृत्त नहीं हो सकता. तो ये मोक्ष कैसे हो सकता है? It was the question. Now, the thing is, there he had asked that if superimposition of creatureliness were without beginning, it would be without end, thus making our liberation impossible. To this, the Guru had answered that something that is illusory cannot be eternal. Illusion vanishes when truth is revealed. Dibbs had lost his selfhood in delusion, and play therapy restored his selfhood back to him. I told a story that one child lost his faith of his parents. Both of his parents were Nobel laureate in physics and in chemistry, maybe. But their son became psychological patient. So when they took him to the psychiatrist, she made an experiment. She left that boy in an open garden and gave a lot of toys and observed with the camera that when nobody was there, the boy was very violent to that toys. He's beating and he's telling, he's, this is my father. You stay into the graveyard. Then again he started beating another doll and telling, she's my mother. Live in the graveyard. They understood. They discussed each other that they did not pay time to their children or child. That's why this thing happens. So Dibs had lost his selfhood in delusion, but play therapy restored his selfhood back to him. Similarly, realization of the truth will restore our true selfhood back to us. And now comes a still more profound question from the disciple that we will discuss tomorrow.